Vandiazzo back at it again. This time we're doing something special. It's our first Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys don't know what Cardfight Vanguard is, another card game made by Bushiroad. For the record, we will not be doing V-Series decks like cards that have imaginary gifts. We'll be doing G-Era decks, because I like G-Era more, R likes G-Era more. We kind of prefer G-Era over the regular era. Let's get started. We're going to go from grade 0 all the way to the top to grade 4. So this is a Kagero Overlord deck profile. Don't worry, it's upgraded. Lizard Attacker, Conroe. That's our starting Vanguard. Counterblast 1. Put him into the soul and choose a card with Overlord in its card name from your hand and reveal it. Look at 7 cards from top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 card with Overlord from among them and put into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you did not put any into your hand, you soul charge 1. This deck has a really bad soul problem, and this guy kind of deals with it. Most of the time, I have a bunch of... All my grade 3 except for 1 is our Overlords, so most of the time I'm going to see an Overlord. But sometimes I wish I don't, because the soul problem, obviously. Triggers, Muzzle Flash Dragon, I run 2. He's just a crit trigger on it. 2 copies of Fire Chase Dragon. Retire this unit, GB1. He has 4k power, by the way. Retire this unit. When your opponent's unit in the same column as him is retired, you may pay the cost. If you do, retire all your opponent's rear guards in the same column as it. I kind of hate this because it's literally just redundant. You're just killing off another unit just to kill him. But at the same time, I'm okay with it because it's a crit trigger. That's pretty much it. 2 copies of Demonic Dragon Mage Rashaka. Tank critical trigger. 3k power. During your main phase, when your opponent's rear guard is put into a drop zone, this card gets plus 3k. What the hell? Oh, crap. I thought this card had to put into its soul ability. Oh, I'm stupid. I look stupid using this now. I have to go change some stuff out after this. 2 copies of Sultan Master Goku. Just a crit trigger vanilla. And then 4 copies of Tenapo Master Hayaki. Once again, another crit trigger vanilla. I just got the Legend deck yesterday for Christmas, so... if you didn't notice about the Legend deck, though, every card in it is foiled. Seizu Master Genjo. Okay, those are a lot of size 0s, and those are all our triggers. Good. Now under size 1s. Grade 1s, I'm sorry, I'm used to Buddy Fight. Dragon Partner Monica. 5k shield. And then grade 1. When you're GB1, when this unit boosts a Flame Dragon, the Flame Dragon boosted Flame Dragon gets 3,000 until the end of the turn. I wanted at 1 because 1, I don't have a lot of Flame Dragons with me. I have a lot of Ring Dragons, but those are different. And Monica, I really don't like regardless. It's not helpful in a non-Flame Dragon deck. So, and since the majority of my cards aren't Flame Dragons, it's basically just going to be there forever. 1 copy of Doombringer High Flame, 5k shield, 7k power. When this unit's placed on rear guard, choose up to 2 cards with Overlord from your drop zone. With 2 cards with Overlord in their card names from your drop zone. Return them to the deck. If you returned 1 or more, shuffle your deck, and if you return 2 cards, you draw 1. Then, on rearguard circle, retire it at the beginning of your ride phase. You may pay the cost if you do. This turn, when you stride into a unit with Overlord on its card name, you can stride without discarding grade 3s. Really nice. Basically, you kind of get a free stride, and even though I have 1 Overlord stride, that's really nice. I kind of wish I had more, and I probably will buy some later. 4 copies of Spear of Flame Dragon Tar, 5k power, GB1, once per turn effect, on rearguard circle, act. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose up to 1 of your other units. Until the end of the turn, it gets plus 4k power and Vanguard / rearguard circle, so it can be on anywhere. When it attacks the Vanguard, look at top 7 cards from your deck. Search up to 1 grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from among them. Reveal it to your opponent, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. I really use this card because of the Soul Blast thing. Like, the Counterblast isn't too big of a deal in this deck, but the Soul Blast thing is. I've used this thing's ability once, and even then, it was kind of like just trigger thinning, because one of the times that I did it, I wouldn't have drawn any triggers, and I had a restanding Vanguard, so it wouldn't have made anything better besides just get rid of the non-triggers. 4 copies of Flame of Tranquility Airmail. He's a PG, like you know. Discard one from your hand. Nullify the attack after picking one of your attack units. So basically, regardless if they pull triggers or not, they can't hurt it. So it also has another ability after that. Then, if you have a card named Flame of Tranquility Airmail in your drop zone after you use its ability to nullify the attack, draw one, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. I love that because you get to draw one, and sometimes I've been in situations where I have such a good hand after this that I really wish I didn't have to discard first, and then because of that I can go, cool, I can draw one, and then I can discard something. Like, if that thing's better than something else in my hand, I can discard something I don't want that's not as good as it, or I can just discard that because it's trash. Works. 4 copies of Lizard General Conroe, 5k defense, 7k power. Choose a grade 3 from your hand and reveal it. When it's placed on rear guard from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 card with Overlord on its card name, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck, then choose a card from your hand, discard it. Your regular searcher, search for your main grade 3, discard something, and then act. Retire it from your rear guard circle, choose one of your Vanguards with Overlord on its card name, and until the end of the turn, it gets when it attacks, you countercharge 2. Really nice, because I do run the ace in this deck, and sometimes I've been like, I will purposely put myself to 1 face-up counterblast left with the ace turn, just so I can go calm or retire it. I'm guaranteed to have all 5 counterblasts ready for next turn, so my opponent's screwed. That was our last grade 1, now into our grade 2s. 1 copy of Glow Heater Dragon, 5k defense, 10k power. When this unit's placed on Vanguard or rear guard circle, choose up to 1 card from your hand, reveal it. And if neither that card nor your Vanguard is a card with Overlord in its card name, it loses 5k power to the end turn. It was one of those cards where they released where it's essentially, it has a good ability, you just need to reveal something for it. And then continuous rear guard ability, if you have a grade 4 Vanguard with Overlord's card name, its original card name, as in it has to have Overlord, this unit gets plus 2k for each card in your opponent's damage zone. I don't run the Purge, because I don't own the Purge, but it still works, because of multi-attack. 2 copies of Burning Horn Evolute, 5k defense, 9k power. Soul Blast 1 and choose a card Overlord on its card name from your hand and reveal it. When it's placed on rear guard, pay the cost. If you do, choose an opponent's rear guard on the same column as it, nuke it. Really nice for like a, for a Fire Chase combo to get rid of your opponent's whole column. And then you have a grade 4 Vanguard with Overlord on its original card name, do the same as Glow Heater. So it will always be like 1k less, I believe, but still, it's like a good card. I only hate the Soul Blast part. 3 copies of Armor of Flame Dragon Bar. Choose a 5k defense, 9k power. Choose a grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your drop zone. Put it at the bottom of your deck at GB1, and when this unit intercepts, you may pay the cost. If you do, it gets plus 9k shield. 15k shield, it's really nice. It does its job, I guess. It goes good. It recycles your Overlords. If only there was a card in this deck that soul charges. 3 copies of Berserk Lord Dragon. I own 1 more, but I'm not going to run it in this deck. Unless I want to cut Monica for it. 5k defense, 9k power, GB1 on rear guard circle, counterblast 1. When your opponent's grade 4 or greater Vanguard attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, when your grade 4 Vanguard attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards and retire it. Basically, die. You just kill off a rear guard. Really nice. Fire Chase combos again. 4 copies of Emperor Dragon Knight Nahalem. GB1, 5k shield, 9k power, sorry. GB1, continuous rear guard skill. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Overlord on its card name, it gets plus 2k power, so it's basically 11k base during your turn. And it gets the odd ability rear guard circle. When your grade 4 or greater Vanguard attacks, it gets plus 5k. So with the A's, or like the Legends ability where it can count as a grade 4 and restand, you basically can get this thing up to 21k without triggers. I've gotten to 31 because of the A's revealing me 2 heal triggers in a row when I was playing an alt Maya player who had 4 damage and I had 5, and both drive checks I got 2 heals because they notified the first one like idiots. On to our grade 3s, Dragonic Lawkeeper, Limit Break, Counterblast 1, bind all your opponent's rear guards at the beginning of your end phase of that turn. Your opponent picks up to 4 of them, add them to the hand, and then call them, and then send the rest to the drop. And when he attacks, if the number of rear guards your opponent has 2 or less, it gets plus 3k power. I just run it because it's a Flame Dragon, I have nothing better. One copy of the true main, Dragonic Overlord, the Destiny. I only own one, and yet I've played 20 test battles with this, and I have only missed him once out of them. So 19 out of the 20, I've seen him and ridden him. Grade 3, 11,000 power, no shield because grade 3 don't have any. Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, when this unit's placed on Vanguard Circle from hand or at the beginning of your ride phase, pay the cost. If you do, choose any circles other than your Vanguard Circle on any field, and put all, on any side of the field, and put all cards from that circle in the drop. So say, if a card has resist, which means it can't be retired, it's not retiring it, it's just moving it to the drop, which is different. And then Stride Skill, which is when you stride, you get an ability. Counterblast 1, when your units stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, look at top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to one Overlord with its card name in it, and then add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Searcher, most of the time it's gone off. 2 copies of the original Dragonic Overlord. You should always run the Justin at 4. Vanguard Rearguard Circle. If you do not have another Kagero Vanguard or a Kagero Rearguard, it loses 2k power. Vanguard or Rearguard Act. Counterblast 3. Until the end of the turn, it gets plus 5k power and gets Vanguard or Rearguard Circle auto. When he attacks an opponent's Rearguard, stand it if the attack hits, and it loses Twin Drive. But still, it's like really nice. Sometimes you can get 3 drive checks, but I run it just for the attack on the Rearguards. 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord, the Legend! As you can see, I have like that lit thing right here. It says Eternal Blaze because of promo. I love life. So once per turn effect, GB2, on Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1 and choose a grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your hand. Discard it. Until the end of the turn, it gets plus 15k power, plus 1 grade, plus 1 drive, and until the end of the turn, it gets once per turn effect, Vanguard Circle. Choose 3 cards from your hand. Discard it. At the end of the battle that attacked the rear guard, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand it. Doesn't matter if it hit, unlike the original one. It can just restand itself. It also has Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 on place on Vanguard Circle. Look at top 5. Add a Flame Dragon from Unlimited to your hand after revealing it, so you can search for PG and stuff like that. I'm going to go as fast as possible because we're running out of time. 1 copy of Hell DDC Dragon Grantos. Once per turn, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 year. If you have a hard card with Steel Dragon's card name, tell all your opponent's grade 2 or grade 2 rear guards. Then your opponent chooses a grade 2 card from your hand and calls it. If they do not, you get to draw 1, and your opponent cannot intercept as long as it's on the Vanguard Circle. It's not here for its ability. It's literally here for flip fodder for this boy, who is a Centigrave Dragon. Blaze, which means you have more rear guards than them at the beginning of each of your attacks. It's emblazing. Once per turn effect, Counterblast 1, choose a face down card from your G zone, turn it face up. Till the end of the turn, it gets, when this unit attacks and it's blazing, draw a card, retire an opponent's rear guard. Absalom, my only G guard. Divine Dragonite Absalom. Counterblast 1, when it's placed on Guardian Circle, it gains plus 10k for each of your opponent's open rear guard circles. 2 copies of Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Vortex Desire. So it's just choose a face down card from your G zone, turn face up. It doesn't have to be it can be anything else. When an attack hits the Vanguard for this turn, you pick one of your opponent's rear guards for each of your grade 2 or grade 2 or less opponent's rear guards for each of your Flame Dragons on your Vanguard Circle, which would be 2 Overlord most likely, and this thing, and then you retire them. 2 copies of the Ace. Counterblast 2. Choose a face down card of the Ace. Flip it over, face up. And then if the number card you use on is 2 or more, it gets minus 1 drive, and once per turn effect, choose a card from your hand, discard it, and an Overlord from your hand, discard it. At the end of the battle, they attack the Vanguard, restand and get plus 5k power. Really nice for just stacking. Finally, 4 copies of my opinion, the best grade 4, but I've never used him that much. I've only used him once, and that was against not my player. Chosenus Divine Dragon. Nouvelle Vague Express. I just love saying that. Once per turn effect, GB2, Counterblast 1, and choose a face down card choose a face down copy of this card in your G zone. Turn it face up. Until the end of the turn, it gets on Vanguard Circle continuous. When he attacks, your opponent cannot call grade 1s to the Guardian Circle, so they can't PG it or Quintet Wall it, as long as it's from their hand. And during your turn, if your opponent's at 5 damage, they can't use trigger, so they can't heal, they can't crit trigger. Basically, they lose if they were to take a damage. That was a deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I sped it up at the end. I'm running out of time right now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon. Stand up your Vanguard.